From the CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS 2 News at 5 p.m.
Now at 5, police have tracked down and arrested a woman accused of a deadly hit and run in Glendale. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Holmstrom.
And I'm Rachel Kim. The 72-year-old victim was Christmas shopping when she was killed last Friday.
Yeah, the woman who hit her is now facing serious charges. CBS 2's Greg Mills, he's live in Glendale with the details on this arrest. Greg.
And Chris and Rachel, it happened right here. This is where the woman was run down, killed on the 21st. This is Glen Oaks Boulevard and Linden on the western edge of Glendale. Now, the woman arrested also lives in Glendale, but quite a ways from here. Mira Gajura is out on bail. We went to the Glendale apartment where neighbors say she has lived for years. A man inside asked us to please leave them alone. We spoke to a neighbor who's known Gajura and her son for 7 or 8 years.
She's a nice lady.
He heard about the charges, vehicular manslaughter and felony hit and run, that Gajura is facing.
If you hit someone, then you stop. You don't keep going.
Glendale police believe Gajura hit and killed 72-year-old Novar Ismailian the night of December 21st and then just drove off. Gajura was arrested Friday, 1 week after the fatal hit and run.
Really happy that they found the person that did it, because losing someone on the holidays is rough enough. But the way that this happened, that she took off.
This is security camera video of Ismailian moments before she was killed while crossing Linden Avenue at Glen Oaks Boulevard here in Glendale. Security camera video also shows the driver of the Toyota Prius involved in that fatal hit and run stopping shortly after that to check for damage to the car.
And then took off after that, so that just broke my heart.
Problem for Glendale PD investigators, there were no witnesses to that fatal hit and run. Here's what Glendale police did, and it really paid off. They were able to get security camera video from businesses up and down the streets in this area. That way they put it together and were able to follow the hit and run car as it drove off. They were also able to get a pretty clear shot of the driver and the car. Friday afternoon, Glendale police spotted the Prius they believe was involved in the fatal hit and run and impounded it. As for Mira Gajura, she is out on bail right now. She'll be back in court on May 19th. Reporting live from Glendale, Greg Mills, CBS 2 News.
Okay, Greg, thank you. Well, investigators are trying to determine the cause of a deadly fire in Boyle Heights that killed 1 woman, injured 4 others, including a 3-month-old boy.
Yeah, firefighters arrived at the home in the 2200 block of East Sheridan Street near Soto Street at about 4 a.m. CBS 2's Joy Benedict spoke to grieving family and friends.
Flames came through the windows and the roof of this home in Boyle Heights. But in the end, they destroyed more than just the building.
It's very sad. She's a very sweet lady.
It didn't take long for friends and family to start grieving the loss of Melinda Rodriguez. A wife and mother to 8 children didn't survive this fire.
She's with God on her side. She's looking after the whole family right now.
Which is exactly what friends of this 66-year-old say she has always done. The fire started around 4 Saturday morning. Inside the home, Rodriguez and her husband Francisco, 2 of their children, and their 3-year-old grandson. Neighbors say it was Rodriguez who helped get her family out.
Told us that they were all asleep. She had the grandson on her arm, and she was waking up everyone.
But for some reason, Rodriguez wasn't able to make it out of the house herself. Firefighters found her unconscious inside. They rushed her and her family to the hospital, but she never woke up.
It's very sad. It's very sad. It's very heartbreaking because we're just like family, you know. In fact, we just spent Christmas last week. We just spent Christmas Eve together. And this is what happened now.
Investigators aren't sure exactly what caused the fire, but they do know that it started somewhere in the front of the home. I'm told there was 1 smoke detector found inside the building, but it's not clear if it was working. And although firefighters prevented the fire from spreading to nearby homes, this home is a total loss. And unfortunately, the family who lived here will never be the same either. Joy Benedict, CBS 2 News.
Very sad story. And in Montebello, a fire at a recycling yard kept firefighters busy this morning. The fire broke out around 6:30 a.m. on the 1500 block of Chapin Road. Burning wood pallets sent up a column of smoke that could be seen throughout the San Gabriel Valley. No one was hurt.
All right, so it was a chilly start to the weekend despite plenty of sunshine. Take a look at this live look.
Wow.
Beautiful sunset all the colors out there. All right, let's go to Amber Lee with our first check of our forecast. And Amber, it was so cold last night, so cold this morning. Is it going to stay that way? I haven't looked yet.
All right, so take a look behind me. We have a lot of the blues here on the board, and what that means is we're actually looking at a really cold night. So grab that extra blanket, maybe even turn on the heater if you haven't already done so, because we're expecting a very frosty night in many places here in the Southland. I'm going to break it down for you. So we have a freeze warning, so that means temperatures will be even colder through the Ojai Valley. This includes the Santa Paula area, Fillmore, Ojai, and then we're also dealing with temperatures that will drop into the upper 20s and go down into the low 30s. The San Fernando Valley, including Thousand Oaks, Simi Valley, Moore Park, Newberry Park, Burbank, and also Universal City, just to name a few, but all the areas here in blue also under this frost advisory. And then we're also dealing with very frosty conditions for the Inland Empire as well until about 8 a.m. on Sunday. So that means temperatures between upper 20s to mid 30s. But what about the new year? I'll have more on that coming up. Back to you guys.
Amber, see you soon. Thank you. Funeral services were held today in Lodi for a 2-year-old boy who died last night in San Francisco of a terminal brain condition. The boy's father wept over the boy's casket today. Ali Hassan is a U.S. citizen, as was his son Abdullah. The child became the center of a controversial immigration policy when his father brought him to the U.S. for treatment in October. His mother is not a citizen. The State Department eventually granted her a visa. She arrived in California Wednesday and was able to say goodbye to her son before he died.
Well, family and friends, they gathered in Stanislaus County last night to pay tribute to fallen police officer Ronald Singh. Police arrested a suspect and also several alleged accomplices yesterday. Mary Moloney has the latest.
A community mourning a painful loss, gathering for a candlelight vigil to honor Officer Ronald Singh, the Newman, California police officer fatally shot during a traffic stop on Wednesday. Officer Singh's brother, holding Singh's 5-month-old son, remembered his brother as a dedicated family man.
He enjoyed his job. From the wife, the family, I'd like to thank all you guys for all the service and everything.
His canine partner paying tribute as fellow officers grieved the loss of one of their own.
I do not know how I am going to go back to work without him there.
The officer's death clearly taking an emotional toll on the small California community just outside of San Jose.
You have to understand this was not supposed to happen here.
The days-long manhunt for Officer Singh's suspected killer came to an end Friday. Police arrested 33-year-old Gustavo Perez Arriaga at a home in Kern County, California, about 200 miles south of the shooting scene. 7 others were taken into police custody, accused of aiding and abetting the suspect and helping him evade police. Police believe Arriaga was fleeing to Mexico when he was arrested.
This suspect is in our country illegally. He doesn't belong here. He's a criminal.
I'm Mary Moloney reporting.
So heartbreaking for that department.
Absolutely.
All right, so the stalemate, it continues in Washington. Coming up, the latest on the partial government shutdown and its impact on you.
And Russian rescue crews responding to an avalanche get buried by a second avalanche.
And back here, the finishing touches, they're being put on the Rose Parade floats. That's next.
My name is Staff Sergeant Joseph Alvarez. I'm stationed here in Incirlik Air Base, Turkey. Just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all my friends and family back home in LA. Go Lakers!